Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Being 6:30, I will call to order the Personnel Committee meeting for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. Roll call is taken. All members are in attendance. Item number 2 is looking for approval of the minutes for the Personnel Committee for January 18th, 2024.
If there are no corrections, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the Personnel Committee meeting of January 18th of 2024.
Second.
We have a motion by Emmerich, second by Kripke. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda is review and discussion of Jackson Police Department Lieutenant promotional process. Chief, would you like to give us some background on this? I know we had a memo and stuff like that in the packet, so.
Certainly. So thank you for discussing this tonight. This is an important step for our department in being able to post and move forward with filling the lieutenant position. As you know, we're anticipating a vacancy towards the end of this year, and we've budgeted and planned for starting that promotion process later this month, assuming we have approval tonight. And then over the next couple of months, we'll have a process. We'll involve the Police and Fire Commission and name the next lieutenant, who will then assume the duties in August. And the new lieutenant will work side by side with Lieutenant Freestead for 2 or 3 months so that they can really do on-the-job training and we have a seamless transition between the two. But before I post the position, there are a few items that are before you to be discussed. Benefits related to sick leave accruals, and sick leave payouts. So Jen, I don't know how much you want to discuss now or in closed session.
I yield to the comfortability of the committee in discussing an open session versus closed. The realities of what's before you all is the outcome of a lot of considerations made by Chief Oskell, Treasurer Smith, and myself. We wouldn't put the proposal before you without basically crossing off any other potential alternative we would have brought forward. And I think that what you have in front of you is a policy that we can execute while still treating, hopefully, the successor lieutenant internally. I'm not going to jinx the process, but I think that this is an extremely fair way to approach and promote the next lieutenant. So I yield back to the chair, our village president, and our committee members what types of questions you may have for us and discretion as to whether it be an open or closed.
Sure, thank you. Committee members, any thoughts on discussing here or an open session?
I'm fine with open session myself.
It was all in the packet and
There's,
public anyhow, right? So if you're good with proceeding, we're good with proceeding an open session on it. So does anybody have any questions on the things?
what's the CBU employees? I've been retired now for.
Collective bargaining unit.
Okay.
So in the police department, most of our staff are covered by the union, the collective bargaining agreement, represented by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association. Myself and the lieutenant are not in the union, we're management. So there's different benefits between what the union has and what the non-union, so the lieutenant and I have. So essentially, my philosophy is if you have qualified internal applicants, you should promote your internal applicants instead of hiring from the outside. So in this case, we have plenty of very qualified, dedicated people that are interested in this position. They're people that have been in the collective bargaining agreement for many, many years and have accumulated the sick leave benefit. And because of the differences, I don't want to throw too many numbers at you, but the CBU officers can accumulate 1,020 hours of sick leave at 8 hours per month during their employment here. And the big difference is when they retire, it's paid out at 100% on a reimbursement basis for health insurance premiums. For non-represented, so myself and the lieutenant position, we are able to accumulate 960 hours, which is the same as the rest of the village employees, and we can have it paid out at 50%. So if I were to promote someone right now that, let's say they have a full sick leave bank, the day that they were promoted, they would lose more than half of their sick leave bank if we didn't make this change today. So the idea is to let them retain what they've already earned. At least one of the applicants there are applicants that have already reached retirement age that they could retire and collect that benefit now, but maybe might choose to apply for this position instead.
Yeah, I think if you take away that 50% of that portion of that sick leave, you're gonna limit yourself to people putting in for that position, because no one's gonna wanna put in and take a hit like that. You might limit yourself to who, if anyone, even puts in internally. I think personally, it's almost like a demotion for them if they're getting promoted and all of a sudden they're losing half of their, the benefits that they accumulated over the years that they earned. So,
Absolutely, and we have several employees that maxed out their sick leave bank years ago, and have just been not accumulating anymore and have not been burning that sick leave. They just maxed it out and have that in their banks right now.
And what that really means in application is those individuals have been employees of the village for 10+ years, because that's how long it takes you to build a bank up that high, and that's not assuming any usage. So we are really speaking to those who have been with the village for some time, and 10 years is a long time in today's present standard of tenure. So again, this is a proposal that we have thought through many different options. We've actually walked through 3 to 3.5 variations of what's before you tonight. We took financial considerations into concern, and we took fairness treatment to who we'd want to be considered or to consider applying for that role. And so I yield back to you guys for your questions too.
Yeah, I guess that's a question. If you said you researched it, but so looking at a total comp plan, right? So you got your regular wage, and then you have your other benefits with sick time and insurance and whatever. Insurance is the same for both, whatever. So if you look at, to go from a regular patrol officer to this lieutenant position, any idea what kind of percentage increase in wage there would be?
The percentage, it's about $14,000 for an officer before overtime.
Okay. So probably in the neighborhood of it's over 10% then.
Right, slightly less for a sergeant or a detective.
Right. So there is a large, all in all, a large pay increase to be promoted, right?
Well, when you include overtime, that's kind of the balance, right, between being promoted to a management position is you don't work the overtime. You don't have the opportunity to make the overtime, but you also don't generally have to work as many hours, right? You work more days per year on a 5-2 schedule. But the compensation is on the job posting, and I wouldn't say it's significantly large compared to what, say, our highest ranking officer made with overtime last year. That's an analysis that we spent quite a bit of time on. So no, I wouldn't say it's a huge raise, but it does maintain compression issues that we're trying to be aware of as well.
is that 14,000 from your top of the scale patrolman or starting pay?
Top of the scale patrol officer, but again, not a sergeant or a detective.
Any other questions, comments?
I just think it's a good idea, just so we get the right employees in there. You've good department, things are going good. Never heard anything bad at all in all the years since I've been on the board, since you took over, even Jed for that matter. It's just, we want the right people in these positions, especially a management position like that. So I think if this would help, that's gonna save us in the long run of any issues. You know, if you're gone or on vacation or something, we want someone we can, with the right person in the spot to run the department while you're gone.
Thank you.
Anybody want to formulate some sort of a motion? Or look at the memo?
I'll make a motion to recommend the village board approve the 2024 lieutenant job posting and future offer of employment to the successor lieutenant to include deviating from the employee handbook leave policy language and allowing up to 100% sick time leave contribution from the village upon retirement not to exceed 1,020 hours, condition upon the following. Number one, the officer offer will be reduced to 960 hours and should the selected candidate not have accrued more than the amount upon the date that the offer is made. And number two, the offer may be amended should the most current CBA of the WPPA JPD reduce the retirement sick leave benefit language prior to successor lieutenant's retirement date if applicable.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We don't need number 4 and 5. Item number 6 on the agenda, citizens or village staff to address the personnel committee. Seeing no one, I would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Kripke, second by Emmerich to adjourn. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.